Hello, everybody. This is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Finally live after I don't know how long. It's been a while. Let me see if I can get my chat open. How do I do this again? I've done forgotten how it works. I think it's been updated now. Let's see. We'll just see how things go. Hope everybody's doing all right. So I've had a lot going on in my life. I've not been able to stream. My first YouTube video since April just went up Tuesday about how to avoid bed bugs when you thrift shop. That's the latest video on my channel. I have had months off because we had a baby. So my wife and I, our son, our newest son, was born on Father's Day. And leading up to that was a lot. And then he got an infection, got an eye infection. It's crazy. So babies will get the tear ducts will get like clogged up and stuff. Now this is standard. Most babies will have this happen to them. But mine, it got clogged not only on the bottom part where there's like a tube that runs from the tear duct down into your nasal cavity. And on the bottom, like right here, it stopped up. But my son, because he's got to be different, has it also stopped up here near the tear duct. So what happened is it got clogged, it got infected, and within 24 hours, his whole eye was almost swollen completely shut. It was crazy. It was almost like he got stung by a yellow jacket or something on his eye. It was so bad. We had to take him to UVA. We had to have him do intravenous antibiotics for 48 hours. It was crazy. It's crazy. So he will be 2 months old on the 15th. So everything's great right now. In fact, I was going to maybe share a picture. If I can get one up over here, I might share a picture with y'all. So, but I'm sorry that this is the first live stream I've been able to have. Another thing that's happened that's kind of obnoxious is Skype. So Microsoft owns Skype. And the way I've been doing, like you see how I got that phone number right there? It doesn't work anymore. I had to take it away because Skype no longer does phone calls. They don't do telephone numbers. They don't do texting or anything. So I still don't have an ability for people to call in and ask questions over like they used to do. Because people used to be able to call in, ask their questions about bugs, and I would answer it for them. It helped you guys in chat. It helped people, that watch the VOD later, in order to be able to understand how to deal with all kinds of bugs. We've talked about termites, we've talked about bed bugs, we've talked about ants and crickets and silverfish and all kinds of bugs live. And it was a great thing. I thought it was a great addition to my channel, being able to answer people's questions live. But now I just have to kind of watch the chat and answer questions in chat. And maybe if Charlie, my son, he's sitting right here beside me playing his Switch, because he got to stay up tonight, and so he's going to sit with me and chat with me some while he's up. So anyway, if anybody wants to ask Charlie a question, he might be able to answer your question too, because he's a bug boy. Let's see. Let's see. Will I be able to show him you, Charlie? Let's see. There he is. He's peeking around the microphone. Hi.
Hi.
Man, look at the back of my monitor. That's a mess. I need to clean that. Now, I should be embarrassed. I'm not really, because I don't ever see the back of my monitor. That's actually Charlie's monitor. Charlie, your monitor is awful. Oh, my goodness.
Well, people put stuff in front of it.
So, hello, Texas Resource Mom. Let's see. Hello, I'm going to schedule a 4:30 Zoom call with you when I can sort out my work schedule. I got myself into a terrible situation with a condo that I purchased. The bug situation is bad. So I don't know how to use Zoom. Maybe that might be an option for live streams too on Thursday nights, is using Zoom. I don't know a lot about it. I know people got real savvy with it during COVID. People do like you could even talk with a judge over Zoom. I don't know how to use that. I'm going to try to have to figure it out. I feel like I'm 43 years old, like an 80-year-old trapped in a 40-year-old body. Because I don't know how to do a lot of this fancy stuff like Zoom. But I can try. I don't mind trying. So, Munchkin Report. I like that name. That's a good name. So why don't we do some Reddit questions? Because it's been a while. The last live stream I did, I was doing it from my iPad holding the baby. Because I have to hold a baby. So, let's see. Somebody gave me your link to schedule consulting calls. Yes, I did. I gave you the link. Let me see. Let's go to Reddit. Reddit. Bedbugs. So, people will try to call me from out of state. So, I live in Virginia. I operate a pest control business in the state of Virginia. I have a family. I have 5 children. My youngest was just born. I'm very busy. And so let me show you what you can do. So for anyone who's wondering, if you go to my channel, my YouTube channel, all right, and say that you're on one of my videos. I got lots of videos. This is my most recent one. So let's go here.
Don't mix.
Now, you want to talk to me. You would like to talk to me personally. If you go down and click this, now you see this little gray box right here? This is the information about my video, like my description, what people call the description of the video. If you click more right here, it gives you a short little blurb. Never buy these used items. Avoid bed bugs and roaches when thrift shopping. In this video, we discuss the items that you should always avoid purchasing at thrift stores to prevent bringing pests into your home. So that's like the basic what the video is about. If you scroll down, all these little triangles are links that I recommend. You know, that's my second channel where I put all my past live streams. I've got my courses where you can join my channel to get the courses I make for YouTube. And then also you've got like bed bug spray, course for cockroaches, course for bed bugs. But if you scroll down, there's a link that says, schedule a time to talk to Jason. That's me. So you can schedule a time to talk to me. And you can click that link and it will take you to another webpage. It's my Square site webpage, my Square webpage for transactions. And it will allow you to book an appointment with me if I have appointments available. Because like I said, I'm very busy. And I wish I could just do it for free. I wish I could talk to people for free, but I can't because I'm so busy all the time. I'd never get off the phone. So I do that for people. But if you don't want to spend any money, which you don't have to, Thursday nights are live. So you can ask any question you want Thursday night, and I will answer it for free. Because I believe that information should be free. I think that, you know, if you have a question for me, I don't mind answering it for free on Thursday nights. My wife and I talked about it, and we tried to figure out when was a good time that I could. Actually, she's putting the baby to bed now, and I've been helping her do that ever since she had him. And I feel kind of guilty sitting down here live streaming. But she said, no, go and live stream tonight and answer people's questions. And so she gave me permission to be here because I really do. I'm very hands-on with my children. I like to help out. I like to teach them. I homeschool my kids. And I'm very much a family-oriented person. So that's why I have it's set up that way. And like I said, I don't like to have to do it. I feel bad, but I have to. My wife is the boss. And she's like, look, you can't just do it for free. You're busy with us. So don't you want to spend time with your family? I actually talked to a lady from New Zealand one time for like 3 hours. And, and I didn't get paid anything. I was just helping her, helping her deal with bed bugs. And then, of course, I get off the phone. I feel bad because I've taken all this time away from my family when I should have been spending my time with my family. So I like pest control. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. I love pest control. And my wife will tell you that I'm married to my job and she's a mistress. So, but anyway. I never can get my camera to sit right. I'm using my phone now as a camera because I feel like it does a better job than my old camera. I wonder if I can lower this. Let's see. It's got a shadow. Can I do like this? Let me see. Ugh. Is that better? That's better. I don't have... Well, no, it's still got a bad shadow. Anyway. So I was going to answer some bedbug questions. All right. So we're on the Reddit bedbug page. Now, the reason we're here is because Reddit, bedbug Reddit, has banned me. They've banned me from posting and helping people on Reddit because this is what I do. When I'm bored, instead of scroll TikTok or YouTube or, something like that, I like to go on Reddit and answer bedbug questions because I'm a nerd. I like bugs. I like my job and I enjoy helping people. So I'll go because people are scared. It's a lot of fear and, people will terrify you about bedbugs. And if you'll look here, there's actually a rule on this Reddit: no fear mongering. Don't scare people. All right. The post that got me banned on Reddit, I actually told a guy, "Don't be scared. You can handle this." A lot of people will try to make out like you can't handle this, but you can. I know a lot of people who have solved their bedbug problems and they never had to hire a professional. And that's what I told him. And I got banned for that. So, I just go on here on YouTube because a lot of you actually promote my YouTube channel on Reddit. I appreciate that. You don't have to do that. But I know people do. And so I'm like, well, why don't I take some time out of every live stream and answer some Reddit questions? Because I can't do it on Reddit. They won't let me. So I'll answer it on my platform, on my videos, on YouTube. So this person says, is this a bed bug or not? They're worried that this is a bed bug. So let's look at it. Does that look like a bed bug to you, Charlie?
Yep.
Does it really?
Yep.
That is not a bed bug. You really think that's a bed bug?
Yes.
That's not a bed bug. That's not a bed bug. You know what that is?
No.
That's a cockroach.
Oh.
So that is actually a oriental cockroach baby. It's a nymph. It's a baby oriental cockroach. That's what it is. That is not a bed bug. So to give you an idea, a bed bug looks like that. See that picture, Charlie?
Yep.
That's a bed bug. Does that look like that? Kind of, but not exactly. Some bugs look alike, but they're not the same. That's actually not a bed bug. That's a cockroach. That's an oriental cockroach nymph. That's what it is. Hello, Hughes. Welcome to the party. Enjoy your emotes. There are emotes in chat for those that are members. So just supporters or whatever. All right, so let's go down here. See, this is the kind of stuff that's on the Reddit. They're promoting stuff like this. Like that's promoted here. So I can kind of understand. Now this is a bed bug. See, Charlie?
Yes.
That is a bed bug.
They
So this guy posted a picture, said, I just checked into a hotel and I saw this on the bed. That is a bed bug. That's what a bed bug looks like. Somebody loves Stitch. Is a Stitch lover. It said hello in chat. Let's see. Is this a bed bug? Found it in my kitchen. Now, it's not normal to find a bed bug in the kitchen. This, even though it looks like a bed bug, it may not be a bed bug. It may be a bat bug. So I went to a house. Let me see if I can share a video on my YouTube channel. I don't know if it's live yet. Oh, there it is. When bed bugs aren't bed bugs. Let's watch this video together. So let's click this dismiss button right here.
Are you ever worried about the possibility of bed bugs in your house? Let me show you signs that it may not be bed bugs after all. So this is not mouse droppings. This is actually bat droppings. And this is at the front door of this house right here. If you look up, because bats always perch up, there's a crack right there. There's bats roosting in, and every time they poop, it falls down to here. Bats carry bed bugs, so it's possible.
So I'm going to break in right here. Now, I said bats carry bed bugs. They can carry actual bed bugs, but most of the time they carry what's called bat bugs. Bat bugs look just like bed bugs. The reason that I say bed bugs in this video is because I want to try to simplify it for people so they understand that it's a bed bug type parasite they carry. When you get them in your house, it's the exact same treatment to get rid of them as bed bugs. You still, because what happens is the bat bugs get in your house. The bats are only local when they're fed. So when the mosquitoes and stuff die back in the winter, the bats will fly away and they'll go to where they can get fed. Usually they migrate south, like into Georgia and Florida, like if you live in Virginia like I do. And so what happens is when the bats are gone, now the bed bugs don't have any meal, or the bat bugs don't have a host. So then they move down into the house and they start feeding on you because you're there all the time. And then why would they go back up in the attic to feed on the bats when you're there as a meal every single day? So then they just start living in the house. So what you do is you treat your house just like you would for bed bugs, and it will kill the bat bugs. So, but that's actually that little crack up there in that attic, of that space in that soffit or whatever. That's where the bats were roosting. You could actually, you couldn't see it in the video. It was not a very good view. The camera wouldn't zoom in enough. But there's actually a bat living in that little roosting in that crack when I was there. So, thank you for all you do. You helped me so much. A friend of mine needed help. Thank you so much. We got rid of the critters. That's great. Stitch Lover says, how do I keep the bed bug or bat bugs away? I get rid of them and then they keep coming back. So if you've got bats living in your attic or your soffits, or like on this house, they were in the siding, behind the siding. You need to seal the bats out of your house. If you seal the bats out of your house and then you kill the bat bugs, you don't get any more bat bugs because the bats won't come back because there's nowhere for them to live. If you have bed bugs, you have to find out where the bed bugs are coming from. Are your kids riding the school bus to school? Are you staying at the same hotel every time you go out of town? Are you staying at the same bed and breakfast or the same VRBO? Or, are you go, like I've had customers that have gone to the exact same house. They go to like a lake house and it's a great lake house and they have a lot of fun and they stay at the same exact house every time they go out of town. And they wonder 3 or 4 weeks later when they come back home why they got bed bugs all over them now. And it's because they continue to bring them back from the same house they vacation. So try visiting new places. Are you a in-home nurse? In-home nurses are high risk for bed bugs. Do you do, in-home nurse? Do you do deliveries inside? Do you go in and help people take care of like their family members and stuff? Do you sit on people's furniture? I had a lady I talked to yesterday. Her best friend She goes and visits her best friend. Found out her best friend has bed bugs. She takes her around. She was leaving her house the day I was there to go and pick her friend up that has bed bugs to drive her to the store. Okay, you can't do that anymore. If you find out your friends have bed bugs, you can't go hanging out with them and carting them around like a chauffeur, because that's how you're getting the bed bugs. So you can't do that anymore. If the bats are out in a tree, the bed bugs aren't coming from the bats. The bat bugs are only going to come from the bats if the bats are living in your house. They need to live in your house, not in a tree. You know, the bat bugs are going to stay in the tree. They're not going to come in your house. But if the bats are living in your house, like in your attic or in a soffit or, you know, behind siding, like on this house, then they're coming from there. They're living in your house. And that's why the bat bugs don't have far to travel. They don't like to travel a really far away unless they're in a house. They don't like to travel from like one house to another, or from a tree to your house, or from a bush or whatever. They're not going to do that. That's too much for bed bugs. They'll just stay there until the bats come back to the same tree, and then they'll start biting on the bat. Because bed bugs can go dormant for up to a year without a blood meal. They don't need a blood meal every day or every week or even every month. They don't need it. And so the bats aren't going to stay gone forever. They'll come back. And then the bat bugs will survive again. So, but yeah, if they keep coming back, it's probably because a bat is roosting on the house. Now, this house here,
Crap.
if I can just show you this siding, let me show you here. So this siding right here, it's really common for bats, like in the morning time when they're done eating, to come and just perch right on the wall. They'll take their little fat fuzzy body and they'll just stick their little body up against the wall and go to sleep. And so it's not uncommon for them to do that. Now, they're more likely to go up in these cracks in this siding here and up all the way up here in this soffit. They're more likely to go there and live there. But they will sometimes in the middle of the morning come and just sit on the wall and sleep there because they're tired. Because bats sleep during the day. They only hunt at night. So the school I work at had a kid come with bed bugs not long after we found some in our house. I'm so afraid to bring them home again. Oh yeah, school is awful. School bus drivers. Bus drivers are at very high risk of bringing bed bugs home. Teachers, guidance counselors, lunch ladies, you know, people that work at a school are at very high risk. I have treated schools before for bed bugs. The one time, there was one school that I used to do where they had a lot of problem with gang violence. And so the kids would have to take their hoodies off because, you know, the colors, some gangs, you know, have colors involved. And so what they would do is they would take their jackets off so they couldn't show their gang colors in school. Instead, they had to go and do their schoolwork. And they would come pull the jackets off of these kids and they'd be full of bed bugs. So kids do absolutely bring bed bugs. Cats do not bring bed bugs in. They can't travel on a cat. They can't travel on a dog. They can't travel on a canary. They can't travel on a robin. They have to travel on a bat if they're going to travel on anything at all. It's bats. So, been watching all your videos last month, treating elderly father-in-law's house for bed bugs, following your advice. How do you recommend treating electric sockets? Don't treat the electric sockets. Just don't do it. If you're using Crossfire, don't treat electric sockets. You do not need to use dust. You do not need to use Cemexa. You do not need to use diatomaceous earth. Crossfire is a standalone product. You only need to use Crossfire. You don't need to treat the wall. You don't need to treat inside the wall. You don't. All right, here's the thing. Let me show you. I'm going to do a drawing with Jason. It's been a long time since I've really live streamed and been able to sit at my computer and do a live stream. But I want to show you. Let's look at MS Paint. Let's pull up Paint here. All right. Now, when you treat a house for bed bugs, okay? There's your room. All right? Let's pretend that's the baseboards. And you're treating the baseboards, right? So they're red. You treated the baseboards. All right? You're going to treat your bed. Okay? Let's see. This is the bed. And let's do some pillows. Let's do some little round pillows here. There we go. Does that look like a comfy bed, Charlie?
Yep.
Would you sleep in that bed?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, good. As long as Charlie will sleep in the bed, then that's what matters. All right. So there's the bed. You treat the bed. You don't treat the pillows or anything. You just treat the bed. Anyhow, so let's say the bed bugs are in the wall. You didn't treat in the wall. Let's do a bed bug. Let's see. Let's just do a pencil. Let's make it big. All right. Bed bug is in the wall. All right. There's the bed bug. He's in the wall, but you didn't treat in the wall. So answer this. How's that bed bug going to get to you to bite you? Now, he can't get a blood meal from inside an electrical outlet. There's not going to be any food for him in the wall. The reason that bed bug has gone in the wall is either to lay eggs or to hide from you. So, when that bed bug wants a blood meal, it's going to go here. All right? And you're asleep. Let's see. Let's put you in here. Let's put you in here. Let's see. You go be. Let's see. Let's blue. I like blue. Blue's my favorite color. All right. So go do. Yes, yours too. So we could go do like this. And you're asleep. All right. All right. You're asleep. So how's the bed bug going to get to you? Now, let's see. Let's go ahead and do some arms like this. You're going to sleep like that. All right. You're asleep. And you're under the covers all snug like a bug in a rug, right? All right. So this bed bug is in the wall. So he came out of the wall socket. He climbed down across the baseboard. They're treated. Okay? Then he goes up the bed, which is also treated. And he might bite you. But then he has to climb back down the bed. All right? Maybe he goes back to the wall. All right? And he's back in the wall again. Maybe he goes between the mattress and box spring and he hides in there, like here. Okay? Well, now he's nestled between a mattress and box spring that are both treated. He's going to die because he came out and got into pesticide. So why would you go and treat in the wall and waste pesticide? It's not going to work. It's better to just let the bug come to you and die. You're the bait to the trap. It's like a mouse trap. You don't bait a mouse trap without bait. Okay? It won't work. The mouse won't go to it. They won't put their nose on it because there's nothing there to entice them to eat the bait, to get triggered in the trap. But because you're there, you're the cheese. You're the cheese to the trap. You're the one that the bug wants to eat. And because they don't know Crossfire's there, they don't see it as a pesticide. They don't recognize it. So they crawl all through it. They'll crawl through it multiple times. They might even crawl along the baseboard until he decides, okay, oh, well, now there's the guy right there. And then go up and bite you. And then he's contracted all this pesticide all along his bed until he finally decides to go to you. Or he goes this way. Or he comes out around an outlet. Maybe there's an outlet right here, in the wall behind the bed, like you got your phone chargers and stuff plugged to. And he comes up and bites you there. He still has to travel over the bed. So either way, no matter where the bug is hiding in your room, whether it's a dresser, a chest of drawers, a nightstand, or a wall outlet, you got to come out. He's got to come out. He can't get a blood meal from anyone but you. So they come out and they bite you. And then they die. They die. They made the mistake of trying to get to you, and now they're dead. So that's how you kill bed bugs. It's easy. It's really not that hard to kill bed bugs. It's really not. It's actually pretty simple. When you're using a pesticide, one, that the bed bugs aren't resistant to, they're not immune to Crossfire, they don't recognize it as a chemical, they don't know it's there, they want to bite you, so they crawl through the chemical, they bite you, and then they die. So, hey, Legendary, nice to see you too. It's been a while. What about MGK Crossfire Aerosol? Okay, so aerosol, the problem with an aerosol is, now, I've never used Crossfire Aerosol. I want to get that straight right now. But in every single instance that I have ever used an aerosol, and I have used some aerosols, they are never as good as mixing it yourself. For example, PT Alpine. PT Alpine is an aerosol. It's an aerosol version of Alpine. which is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but it starts with a D, as the active ingredient in aerosol in Alpine. The thing is, if you mix it yourself and you treat yourself, say for fleas, the PT Alpine is not going to be as effective as just straight Alpine WSG. It's better to mix Alpine WSG and use it and not the aerosol. I have never once ever used an aerosol and been happy with it. Not 100%. Not compared to the actual, hey, I'm going to mix this, I'm going to put this in my tank, and I'm going to use it in my tank. Much better results. You will get much better results when you mix it yourself than when you use Alpine or Crossfire in a can or whatever. Now, that being said, sometimes it's easier, especially if it's a small infestation, to have a can of aerosol around just to be able to use it. And maybe you don't need a whole gallon or whatever, and that's fine if you want to use the aerosol. But don't expect it to last as long. Alpine lasts for a month. Crossfire will last for a month. It will kill bed bugs for a month. I don't believe that the aerosol will kill bed bugs for a month. But you can try it and let me know. I wouldn't risk it. I would not buy Crossfire. Go into a customer who's paying me to kill their bed bugs and use Crossfire in an aerosol can. I will mix it and use it myself in a B&G because I think it's going to last longer. Every single instance I've ever used a aerosol, it's always been inferior to mixing yourself. So every time. And I don't believe that aerosol Crossfire is any better. I just think it's the same as everything else. So, but people will buy PT Alpine in my business. All right, they go into a house it's infested with fleas, and that's what they use to kill the fleas. And that's so lazy. it's so lazy, and it's so infuriating because it doesn't work. The people, and then they'll ask me. I have people do this online all the time, and they'll say, "Hey man, I got this customer, and they got fleas, and I used Alpine like you said," and I'm like, "Really, you did?" And they said, "Yeah, I got that can of PT Alpine. I went and sprayed it all over, and they still got fleas. What do I do?" I'm like, "Well, you didn't do what I said. I said to use Alpine WSG, mix it and use it. I didn't say use stupid aerosol. Aerosol don't last." "Oh. Okay, well, I just figured the PT Alpine was just as good." And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not just as good. So, but anyway. How often should I spray? I'm doing 1 to 2 times a week. You spray once a month. Once a month. If you're spraying 1 to 2 times a week, you're spraying too often. You just do once a month. I'm dying out here. 5-hour termite job outside, only by myself, 103. Shoot. Me and Charlie went and did a termite job. I took Charlie. Charlie's my 6-year-old. He's sitting here with me tonight playing his Switch. And we were together on a termite job. And how hot was it, Charlie?
Super hot.
It was super hot, wasn't it? It was super hot. And we were both sweating bullets. I mean, Virginia is just so humid and miserable. And the reason I took him with me is because the guy had crawl space. And Charlie don't mind crawl spaces. He'll crawl up under a house. He was telling me one time he was under the house with me. He's like, "You can make a fort under here. This is kind of like a fort." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's work. Get this done. Get out from underneath this house." But yeah, I took him with me on a termite job so he could learn how to kill termites. And it was just hot and miserable, and I'm just like dripping sweat. I feel like I'm just getting dehydrated every minute. It was awful. It's been a very, very hot termite season this year. So, let's see. I found bed bugs just 4 days ago. I'm doing Crossfire tonight. Diatomaceous earth. Don't do DE. If you're doing Crossfire, don't do diatomaceous earth at all. If you do diatomaceous earth on top of Crossfire, you will make your Crossfire not work. Do not use diatomaceous earth if you're using Crossfire. Don't do it. Okay? You'll waste your Crossfire. Just don't do it. let's see, family member lives in New York City. Do you recommend other than Crossfire? Crossfire is the best. I mean, apprehend, but you're going to have a professional apply that. You could do Crossfire on your own. You don't need a professional to apply Crossfire. You just follow. I mean, I got videos on my channel. Just go watch my video and you'll learn how to do it on your own. Oh, this guy, Stitch Lover, says, I used the Crossfire aerosol and did not like it. So, let's see. I'm doing my next Crossfire. Well, actually, honestly, when I've read the Amazon reviews for Crossfire, I think most of the ones that are negative reviews are the ones that use aerosol. Or they're not mixing it correctly. Because you can't use hot water. You have to use like lukewarm or like room temperature or something like that. You don't want to use real cold. I mean, you can mix it with cold. You can mix Crossfire with cold water. I've done it. It takes a lot more agitation. It doesn't like to mix as well with cold water. It's easier to let the water sit and use warm water or lukewarm water. So what I do is I fill a 2.5 gallon jug with water. Okay? And I keep it full all the time. So like before I go to work, I will fill a 2.5 gallon jug of water. And I'll always make sure I have that jug of water. And I'll leave it sitting out so it gets room temperature. It's always out. It's not in a refrigerator. It's not, kept hot in the car. It's room temperature. So that way I mix all my chemicals. So when I go out on the day, like if I've got bedbug work to do today, then I'll mix a whole gallon. If I've got 2 or 3 jobs, I mix a whole gallon of chemical. That way I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. And I'm using actual room temperature water. That matters, mixing it correctly. But a lot of people water down their Crossfire and don't even realize they're doing it because it's half a gallon of water, pour 13 ounces in, and then mix it to the gallon mark. You add more water up to a gallon because it's 13 ounces. It's easy to mix if you go half a gallon of water, pour the Crossfire in, and then fill it up to a gallon because the Crossfire and the water equal a gallon. But what people will do is they'll fill their gallon jug with water and then they pour the Crossfire on top. Well, now you've got more than a gallon. You've got a gallon and 13 ounces. That's not how you mix Crossfire. You mix the Crossfire inside of the gallon. So the whole gallon, after everything is added and mixed, is Crossfire. Do you get it? It's not a gallon plus 13 ounces. It's just a gallon. Period. And so if you're pouring a gallon of water and then you're pouring your Crossfire on top and mixing it up that way, you're watering down your pesticide because that's not how you're supposed to mix it. The reason they do aerosol is because they're lazy. Legendary. It's because they're lazy. They don't want to carry a bunch of B&Gs around. They don't want to carry backpack sprayers. They don't want to carry the heavy equipment. They want to carry a little can that's like this tall in their hand that they can slip in their pocket. That's what they want to do. They are lazy. Legendary. When you go get your licensing done, when you go get your recertification and your education in pest control, how many fat people do you see in the room? Like, seriously. You got a room of like 100 pest control guys. And like 90% of them, if they all jumped at once, would cause an earthquake. Like, they're just really big lard asses. And excuse my French, but they are fat. And I'm like, how the heck are you doing your job when you can't even fit in your truck behind your driver's wheel? How are you able to do your job? You're fat and lazy. That's why they're carrying around these little cans of aerosol, calling themselves professionals, because they're fat and lazy. And that's, I've been licensed for 26 years. Every 2 years, I have to go and get my recertification done in the state of Virginia. And you go in this room, and every single person in there is a lard ass. They're fat. They're really fat. And they're really fat. Some of these guys are like 400, 500 plus pounds. And I'm like, how the heck is he crawling under a house? He's not. He's not crawling under the house. That's the thing. And I don't see how they can even walk around the house and do a good job without getting out of breath. So, but that's the truth. Anybody that works in pest control knows that is the absolute flat truth. I hope you're not one of the fat people, Legendary. I'm not trying to insult you, but if you are, you might want to go on a diet. I know I need one. I'm fat. I'm not like huge. I weigh 234 pounds, 6'3". I could use a few pounds. I could lose a few. Okay, but I can crawl under a house. I can squeeze through some tight crawl spaces. But some of these guys can't even get to a crawl space door. So, the thing is they're sitting in their truck, Legendary. That's what they're doing. They're sitting in their truck. And they're eating their lunch. And they're going in with a bait gun. And they go, bait, spray with some PT Alpine. I'm going to leave. And that's all they do. They're not doing anything. I used to, when I was 12, 13 years old. Now, I've been doing termite work all my life. That's how I got started in this line of work, because my dad owns his own pest control company. And, when you work for your dad, he sends you under the crawl spaces. That's the way it works. I went through a cinder block hole where it was a vent hole. What happened is I had to check a house for termites. I was doing a termite warranty. And I crawled through the crawl space. And you know how it is. When you start in 4-foot clearance, and the closer you get to the end, the tighter and tighter it gets. And then you see this one little vine that's growing up the wall. And you're like, I got to go up there and check it, because I can't tell if it's a shadow from my flashlight or if it's a termite tunnel. And so I crawled all the way up there. And in order to get into this little tight little spot, I got to crawl through about a pound of groundhog crap and cat poop. And it's nasty, because it's gross, because somebody let the animal get up under the house. And so the house is disgusting. And I climb all the way up, because I'm just a teenager, and I climb all the way back to the end of this house. And I'm like, there's a missing vent for the crawl space. And I hollered down to my dad, and I said, Dad, I ain't crawling back through that animal crap. I'm going out through this hole. He's like, Jason, you cannot fit through that hole. And I said, I can. And I shoved my head and my shoulders, and I went right on out through that vent hole. And I ain't never fit through one again, but I was not about to go back through all that poop I just crawled through to get to that vine that wasn't even a termite tunnel. So, yeah. I've been in some tight spots. I've been into some such tight spots that I had to use my screwdriver that I used to scrape the tunnels and stuff to dig around my waist so I could go up underneath a beam to get to the other side of the crawl space. But sometimes that's what you got to do to kill termites. So, I did a house. I had a guy tell me that he hired a company to come out and treat his house for termites. The man was so fat that he was only able to stick his arm through the crawl space door and his head and just treat a little bit. And he told him, look, I'm doing the best I can. I can't guarantee this is going to take care of your termites, but we're going to do the best we can. And that's all he did, because he couldn't get under the house. And that's the guy the company sent to kill the termites, is the guy that can't even fit in his car. He can't. Compact car, the guy would fill the whole thing up, That's why I do the work myself on any bug job, because everyone I've hired always took the lazy out. Yeah, I know. That's the problem I've got, is finding people that are willing. You got to take pride in the work that you do. It's important. If you're going to go out and charge somebody to treat their house, you're taking their hard-earned money. It is not easy in today's economy to earn a living. But you're going to go out there and you're going to take their money. You better do a good job. That's all I got to say. I just don't think it's right to do shitty, shoddy work. You do good work. You send the guy that can do the work, and you don't leave until the job is done and it's done right. And I'm so critical that I tear apart a termite guy's patch job. If you go and you see the patches that they've patched with their Portland cement, and they have fallen through, none of my patches have ever fallen through. I have never patched a termite job and my patches have fallen through. Ever. Not one time. That never happened. But you'll go behind these guys and the patches are messy. It's like they just smeared the concrete over there, and then of course they fell through because they didn't plug them properly. And it's like they have no pride in their work. And it's like, that's somebody else's house. You just drilled holes in their concrete floor and you can't make a decent patch. It takes 5 seconds or less. I tear people apart, man. I'm just like, and I'll tell the customer, I said, who did you have do this termite work? Because I would like to meet them. I would like to meet them and cuss them out myself, because this is shoddy work. They should not have done this to you. They should have at least, and then you wonder if they even put chemical in the hole, because they obviously don't care about the work they're doing. They don't care if it looks good. They don't care if they take care of this person's house after we drilled holes all over it. So I take my favorite patches when I go and patch termite work is if you drill through a brick patio and you drill right through the mortar joint where the bricks join together. You drill through the mortar joint. You save the dust off of the top of that mortar. You drill all the way through the concrete. You come back out. You vacuum the dust and everything up. And when you go, after you treat it, when you go to patch that hole, you put that concrete in there and you take that leftover mortar dust that you saved and you mush it into the top of that patch, back and forth in that patch. And then when it dries, you can hardly even tell that the pest control guy was there. It looks good because people like their brick patios. And they get upset when they see those dark gray little circles. They want to see it. They want it to look nice. And I don't care. I don't want people to know I was there when I'm done. I don't want them to tell. Now, they'll be able to tell around the garage and stuff because it's going to show. But on my brick stoops, I like to blend them in to where it doesn't even look like I was there. And that's taking pride in your work, making it look good. That's what I do anyway. So, but anyway, I am going to have to go. I can't spend a lot of time on my live streams. I felt bad because I haven't been able to live stream very much at all. But my wife is. She's texting me. I need to go upstairs and help with the baby. But I'm here. I'm still around. I'm going to try to make more video content. Hey, Charlie, where are you going? No, come here. Come here. Here, hop up here. Oh! Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
You see yourself right there?
Yep.
Yep. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Say I was really good today.
I was really good today.
I got to stay up and play games with my dad.
I got to stay up and play games with my dad.
See y'all later. Y'all have a great night. Oh, how do I do this? We got to push the button. First, we got to click this button, Charlie.
Okay.
It says closing stream. And then that little screen comes up to remind everybody not to be stupid.
Yep.
Yep, you can't be stupid. It says the label is the law. Don't break the label. If you're going to use pesticides, be safe.